Roschon Johnson out of Texas. I mean, I don't want to call him a backup because he's not, in my mind, a backup player. He's a running back one, but he was behind Bijan Robinson at Texas. And as I like to say, Rick, didn't get very many carries, so that's great for the NFL team that gets him. He's actually bigger than Bijan when they weighed in. 6 feet and a half, 225, and ran a 4.58. Rick, I'll let you start here. He was your number 5 guy. He's my number 3 running back. Do you care about the 4.58 at all?
A little bit. I think he plays fast enough, but he's a built-up speed guy. The thing that was very intriguing about him is that he's an explosive runner for his size. I think he has good, not great game-breaking speed. You can see that on some of the kickoff returns that he had. The thing that impressed me the most is that this guy is an offensive player, a skilled position offensive player, running down and making plays on kickoffs. So that tells me this guy knows how to play the game. But the 4.58 was a little disappointing, but I think he's an in-between the tackles runner that's going to hit a lot of singles and doubles and a triple every now and then. I just don't know if he's going to be the guy that's going to break the 80-yarder at the NFL level.
So I told you my comp for him was Alexander Madison. I think you had a different one. I don't know if you remember it off the top of your head.
The running back from Indiana, Jordan Howard.
Jordan Howard, that's right. That's it. Okay. So singles, doubles, occasional triple feels pretty good. Great in the special teams and not just a returner on coverage. And also he can block. I would imagine I have him going late second. Does that feel too rich or you feel okay with that?
Who are you asking, me or Emory? If you're going to host this, you need to direct traffic there, bud.
I'm asking you, General Manager Spielman.
It'll be interesting to see how all these teams stack these running backs after the first two. Okay. I could see him potentially going there. I'm not going to argue with you that. I see more likely third. Okay. But it depends on what's coming off the board. And as I'm working, and we're all working on trying to figure out this free agency and how teams are filling their needs. But I'm not going to argue with you, even though I think it's a little rich. I would do the 3rd round on him, not the 2nd. We took Alexander Madison in the 3rd. He was still there in the 3rd, similar style. I think Alexander Madison ran a little faster, if I'm not mistaken. But our crackpot research team would probably figure that out eventually. But I'm not going to disagree with you.
I got some good news.
Agree with you, but I'm not going to disagree with you either.
Well, agree with this. Alexander Madison ran a 4.67.
Not on my watch. I liked him. 4.46.
He was a good player. I have no issue with the 4.67. I think that to me tells me that the 4.58 is not the end of the world.
Correct.
And that's what you said basically. Let me ask you, Emory, because you didn't have Roschon in your top 5. In fact, your number 5 was a guy that Pete Briscoe has been talking up. Keaton Mitchell out of ECU, who's a little spark plug. He's a fun guy. Why did Roschon not make your top 5?
Well, first, let me grab what Debo just sent me so I can read it off. I respect both of you guys' opinion.
He sent you a Gatorade bottle.
But I have to, respectfully disagree with you guys. For me,
make sure you take the label off that juice because that's not a sponsor of our program, so we cannot give them free advertisement.
That's right. I thought this was CBS Blue, so that's why I picked it up.
Yeah.
So when you look at Roschon Johnson, I think just from a running back perspective, he keeps everything play side. So from a defensive perspective, hey, if we beat him to the spot and clog it off, he's not going to cut it back. He's a high cut runner. He's that, like Rick talked about, that build up speed kind of guy. So he doesn't have the agility. He's not going to work front side to back side. And he's not, so you don't have to worry about him beating you on the other, on a cutback run because he's going to keep it to where the play is designed to go. And to me, that just limits him as a runner. He also doesn't have that explosiveness about his running ability. And that's evident that he would average 17 yards a kickoff return. That's not, you like the fact that he returns kicks, but I mean,
that doesn't mean he's going to be a kickoff returner.
Exactly. Right. And so I do like the fact that he's a versatile guy. He doesn't mind blocking for a teammate. At times you saw both of those guys in the backfield at the same time. So when you have him in a game, you don't know if it's going to be a run or a pass or, he's going to block. So you love that aspect. But I do like the fact that he's someone that competes. He understands his role. He's a good teammate. I compared him to Alex Barnes, who played at Kansas State a couple years ago. Big back that has good speed, that kind of plays a little bit like him. So I see him as more of an RB2 at the pro level. And Alexander Madison, I think, is a good comparison because that's the type of guy that you want backing up a frontline starter.
Man,
and one thing you got to just note about these big backs is that they wear defenses down. So don't expect him to come in and break an 80-yarder right off the bat. Where they become effective, the more you feed the beast. And a guy and running back this size, they tend to wear the defenses down late in the game when they are able to, team is able to establish a run game. But he's not a quick guy, a big play guy to come off the bench and give you a quick score here. There, this one you have to feed in order to get him lathered up and let him wear down the defense.
All right, I'm going to have Debo make another $1 bet because you guys are disrespecting Roschon to a degree that I cannot stand. So Roschon's my number 3 running back. Deuce Vaughn is Emory's number 3 running back. And Rick, your number 3 running back is Devon Achane. So I'm going to ask Debo to make a $1 bet that my guy has a better season yards-wise than your guys, okay? You want some of that heat?